Hello you, welcome to Geekism. Planet Coaster 2 has got a roadmap for the first part of 2025. We're going to be taking a look at that in a moment. First of all, slight elephant in the room, where have I been? I did mention this on social media and in live streams, but my lack of content hasn't necessarily been to do with how I feel about Planet Coaster 2. I've actually still been relatively enjoying the game. Don't get me wrong, my interest in the game does falter and ebb and flow, and I definitely am more sort of focused on it and interested on it when the developers seem to be as well. So updates like this really get me sort of back into the fold, especially when we've had a relatively quiet festive period. Obviously the offices shut down for a little bit, so that's all fair. Everyone definitely deserves their breaks, but it's really good to see some news now about what the game moving forward is going to look like. The reason I've just been away, I had shingles all over the sort of festive period into the new year. Oh my god, agony. I wouldn't wish it on my worst. Actually, I would wish it on my one worst enemy. Actually, you know who you are, but nobody else I would ever want to have it. I was bedridden for weeks basically, and even once I was up in a bed again, just absolutely sucked all sort of creativity out of me. So but I'm feeling a little bit more human at the moment now. Shingles can very often come with some mental health issues, which is something I've struggled with over the years as well. Fans of the channel will know, so I've just been very sort of aware of that and making sure that I don't just kind of run back into the grind of trying to produce stuff as well as manage the day job and everything else. So I've taken a bit of time away. Luckily, my girlfriend and my son are both incredibly active, outdoorsy people, and they've been dragging me out to make sure that I don't just sort of lie in bed and feel sorry for myself for months on end. But no, we're doing good. We'll be having content return to the channel very soon. Have been working on Meanderville. Episode 1 is nearly finishing the edit and should be out in about a week, I reckon, probably by the time you see this. But still, lots more to come, especially with these updates as well. So this is a series of updates. By the way, just want to say, called it, kind of. I actually messaged a friend of the channel, I'm sure you know him as well, Mass Bandit, a couple of days ago about what does Planet Coaster look like moving forward? You know, what we haven't heard anything in January. Are we going to hear anything in January? And if we do, what is it? And more importantly, perhaps, what does it need to be for us to, be really on top of it? And I said, if they show off a pile of management and guest AI features, some free scenery pieces made from the selection of the OG themes, and a ride or two, and a roadmap of the next few months, then we're back in business. That's basically what we got. Like, genuinely, I'm quite surprising myself at how close that was. Maybe not quite exactly that, but that's basically what we're looking at here. So, update 2, update 3, and then they've promising an update 4 or 5, although they aren't really fleshed out right now. But update 2, coming in February, includes custom video billboards and custom speakers. I'm pretty sure that's custom music, basically. I think it's a slightly weird way of wording it. And I will say this as well, even though Frontier were very kind to provide this image to me a little early, and I mean, like a few hours before you guys saw it, just to kind of give me a heads up to bring something to you today. This is it. This is all I've seen. So anything I say here where I embellish what these are, it's no extra information I've got from them. I'm just kind of making best guesses and best estimates. So I'm pretty sure custom speakers, that means we can add custom music. Something I'm very excited about. Again, people on the channel will know that Alex has been working on some incredible music for Meanderville. Now we'll be able to put it into the park. Yes, really excited for that. That's going to be great. And billboards as well. Really open up the game creatively. Music, I think, probably is more useful because it's very easy to just put your own music in and have it go. Billboards, you usually got to have a little bit of knowledge about editing and stuff and making them the right file formats and saves and stuff. But even still, I can't wait to see what creative people do with both of those features. Synchronized coasters. I'm going to assume that means that the stations can be synchronized so we can have racing coasters, basically. That's, again, something that was in the first game. Happy to see it come to the second one. You can build 2 stations next to each other and set it so that they only leave when they are both full and ready to go, and then you can have a racing coaster. That's really exciting. I'm thinking about doing a racing Woody in Meanderville, so like racing GCI wooden coasters, which I think is going to be lots of fun. Interchangeable coaster cars. You're just going to be able to have different cars onto different tracks. Again, something we had in the first game. Glad to see it come into the second one. And then notification settings on/off. Yeah, okay, cool. I guess that just means you can turn the notifications off in like Sandbox or whatever. That's great. There is an issue at the moment where you can turn off all of the settings. You can say that staff don't need breaks and this don't need that. You'll still get a few notifications saying that people have worked without breaks. I'm assuming it just means that that's getting fixed, or we can just turn them off completely. So cool, neat. It doesn't really bother me to have little numbers in the corner, but I know some people it's driving them insane. So I'm glad that's getting fixed. As far as rides go, stock coasters. Again, I'm assuming here, but I'm going to guess that means the actual coaster cars themselves are going to be very plain, so that we can add scenery onto them slightly easier. A lot of them in the game are relatively plain as it stands, but there are a few noticeable exceptions where it looks like a aeroplane, or there's one that looks like a bird. I assume it means that we're going to have some really stripped back versions of those, and maybe just in general, even the ones that are sort of formed and shaped, maybe even they're going to get really stripped back to just sort of like the boxes that the guests sit in, I think that's great. I haven't really played around with custom coaster cards yet, mostly because I haven't really played around with coasters, but it's definitely something I want to do, so I'm very happy that we're getting that those sort of empty canvases of coaster cars to use for something like that. That is going to be split over February and March, so I suppose I would like to think that they're going to tackle the most egregious ones in February, the fighter jet one and the bird maybe. I think those are the two worst ones. And then they'll fill off the rest of them over February and March. And then we're returning flat ride Pathos 3. The Pathos came as one of the free updates of the first game as well, if I remember rightly, and it's based off of KMG's Tango. It's cool, just sort of comes up and spins around. It's flat rides, I don't know, they don't really enthuse me much, but they're great to fill out in parks. Would like to see it have a small footprint, please, but otherwise, yeah, cool, free flat ride, I'll take it. And then adjustments and enhancements. Guest navigation is being improved, multi-select is being improved, notifications are being improved, what we spoke about before, ongoing guest economy and management enhancements, and ongoing stability and performance enhancements. So really, honestly, that's most likely the meat and veg of the update. That's the sort of stuff that is really holding people back at the moment. Guests moving around and actually using stuff properly, not just getting bunched up in certain areas, actually having them go and use the stores as they should, having the multi-select work properly. At the moment it's very sort of hit and miss as to whether it works. All of that sort of stuff, that's going to be the stuff that really helps you get back into the game, or really helps you sort of, get through the barrier that you're having because of issues at the moment. But what I will say is that sort of stuff doesn't really make a flashy update. So I understand why that's sort of pushed down, first of all, billboards, speakers, coasters, sinking, that's all the sort of like the big hits. They're the headlines. But really, that sort of bottom half there, here's all the fixes we're working on. That's most likely going to be the important stuff. But I understand that from a sort of PR point of view, you can't just be like, February, there's going to be bug fixes, yay! It has to sort of be tagged on to a feature or sort of big feature fixes as well, which is why I've done that. But I would expect those adjustments and enhancements to be the real sort of stuff that we appreciate the most, and then the add-on features, the billboards and all that, it's going to be great. But really, I think that sort of fixes is going to be where the updates really shine. Moving into March then, with update number 3, more varied movement of guests or rafts on special pieces. So that's the bowls, the higher things. They're going to be, I'm hoping, they don't look necessarily like they're following the line so much. There's going to be varied based on the speed they enter them. All of that sort of stuff will be great. Guest jettisoning off flumes. Currently, they will do that off the end of the flume, but I assume that means if they go sort of too high into a curve, they will come off, like that screenshot we saw quite a while ago. And then round-bottomed flumes and inflatable deformation. They showed us a little bit of that tech working with the inflatable deformation, is a fancy way of saying that the tubes just sit like you would expect them to sit. That's all great. For me personally, it's not the biggest issue with the game, but at the end of the day, Planet Coaster 2 was sold on this water park. That was clearly the big thing they lent into. All the scenery themes lean themselves towards watery areas. Obviously, all the slides are new features. So getting that right is going to be important to a lot of people. It'll make them look better, and for that, it's worth doing, I think. I will hold off a little bit on Planquatica now and wait for that March update to go in and do some of the bigger final slides that we were going to do anyway, like the water coasters, because at the moment, it'll just not quite look as good as they could do later on, so I think that's what we're going to do there. Scenery rotation toggle. This one's interesting. I hope this is similar to the Planet Zoo one, where you can toggle it on and an item will be randomly rotated. Really great for placing down trees and bushes mostly. It has some other uses, but honestly it's mostly just for that, trees and bushes. I don't know if this is desperately needed because we do have the scenery brush, but I personally don't love using the brush for other than just sort of like backgroundy getting the thumbnail pictures, so this is neat for that reason. I wouldn't hate it if that scenery rotation toggle also came with like a random scale percentage either way as well, so that just placing down tree, they not only were random rotation, which is great. It would be great if they were just also just very slightly higher or lower as well. Again, you're kind of moving just into what the scenery brush does then, so perhaps not. But yeah, scenery rotation toggle, awesome. Happy for that. Career maps available in sandbox mode as starting layouts. I think that is awesome. There, you can kind of do this now. You can go into the career mode level, you can save it and then save as a sandbox and then go into sandbox and delete all the stuff there. But at the moment, there are some things you just can't get rid of. There's a handful of plants. There's a couple of like floating islands, or at least big pillory type islands in the beach biome, and you can remove the terrain of the island, but the couple of rocks and plants that they've added on the top of them aren't currently removable, so hopefully that means we can do that. The beach biome, for instance, awesome. Make that a sandbox. You're going to see some awesome piers, beach resorts. Can't wait for that. I'd even to the point where it might be enough for me to start another series where we just do like a little pier, because it'll just look so beautiful on that beach map. I'm excited about that. And then stock coasters continuing from February. They're going to do sort of the other half of them. And then there's also going to be a free flat ride as well. All of these updates are free as far as I'm aware. They usually refer to the free updates as update and the DLC as DLC. So I'm pretty sure this is all free. And then adjustments and enhancements. It just says ride attendance. Cool. I mean, they're going to get an upgrade. They currently don't work great when they leave. The ride all shuts down, so hopefully there'll be something about having to wait for somebody to arrive. You know, I'm all for the scheduling thing for people who like the management stuff, whatever. I'm just, for the most part, I'm the sandbox player. I'm just going to have them stand there. But if they do a bit more cool, I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as say that this means they're going to start sort of checking harnesses or anything like that. I'm pretty sure they're still just going to sort of stand behind that little box. But if it means they just get fixed, cool. Ongoing guest economy and management enhances, and ongoing stability and performance enhances. Again, same with February. Those two lines there are going to be the meat and veg of the update. That's all of the bugs and stuff that they're going to try and get rid of. It just doesn't make for good copy when it comes to pushing out adverts like this. I get it. Update 4 in April. Features, new features. And at the moment, that's all we know. And then update 5 in May. Basically, here they are just confirming that they are going to be looking at a monthly update from now on. And I think that's great. I think a monthly update that brings both new features, returning features from Planet Coaster 1, tweaks to the features we currently already have, and then a pile of bug fixes, and hell, here's a free ride as well. I think that's awesome, honestly. If I know there's been a lot of issues about the game coming out and how it came out early or unfinished, and I completely agree with all of this. If you are now still looking at the game and seeing this and thinking this isn't enough, then I don't think this game is for you now then, because I can't see them doing more than this. Every single month an update that's coming out that they are sort of pledging to us that they're going to have a monthly update that both addresses issues and brings in features that are missing. And they've also said, you know, Arthur in that previous video said that they're going to take a step back from DLC and focus on free updates until the game is in a better state. Also, as part of this announcement, it's not on this image, but they announced that they are looking at bringing in original Planet Coaster 1 themes, Pirate and Western and all those, bringing those in as scenery as well. That'd be awesome if each of these updates comes with one of them. You know, February comes with some Pirate stuff, March comes with some Western stuff. I don't know how, or maybe it all comes together in like a legacy patch or whatever. If you're looking at all this now and still think it's too little, too late, then I think you're done. I can't. This seems enough for me, honestly. I think any more than this would be incredible, but this is good enough. As long as they stick to it, they follow through, the things they bring in work. You know, obviously there's still a lot of caveats there, but after such a ropey launch, if they can nail this now over the next few months, I personally, they will gain back a lot of goodwill from me. I'm sure others will as well. Other people may not, and I don't know what more you can ask for. Honestly, I think this is about as best as we can hope for. I'm happy for it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm, like I say, still relatively enjoying the game for the most part. But all of these features here, they're ticking boxes for me. I don't know, whatever. Call me a shill. That's all I've been called for the last 2 months because I don't hate the game. I think this is all good stuff. I'm excited to see it. Would I have liked update 1 at the end of January? Yeah, of course. That's maybe the only negative I'll say here really is that, February is technically could be still 6 weeks away if it comes out towards the end of the month. So, but this is real great openness, transparency from them. I just hope it continues. I hope they keep filling this out. I hope they keep showing extra months or show April. Next month they show us what April looks like. Just talk to us. I'm not even saying that as us being content creators. Just talk to the community. Keep us in the loop. Let us know what you're working on. Let us know if something isn't panning out. Let us know if you've managed to figure something out, and that's coming as well. And I think that's where we're going to move forward with the game and get it to a place where people are happy with, is just keeping that communication there, just keeping yourselves present and open to feedback. And I think this is a great start. I want to see lots more of it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember, Meanderville coming very soon. We'll get something else as well. I'm probably going to look at some other games as well. I really want to go back to Manor Lords. 2 Point Museum is coming out soon. There was another one I got emailed about, and I was like, oh, that looks great. So something else as well. I don't know. I'm feeling lots better now. I'm not using my days off from work to just lie about, which I have been. I'll be honest with you, it's been a ropey couple of months. But we're going to get back to it. Loads more stuff, loads more Planet Coaster 2, loads more other games as well. This is Great Frontier. Good job. Love you all to bits. Till next one. Be good.